Good afternoon, students.
Ma'am.
Yesterday, because of your placement test, we were not able to conduct lab yesterday. So today, this lab is compensation of yesterday's lab. So in the previous lab, which of the programs we have executed, students? 1A, 1B, second 2A, 2B, we have executed, and third program. Wait, let me open the syllabus. I'll open the syllabus and. Yes, students, all of you understood the logic of 1A, 1B program. What we are doing in 1A, 1B program, 1A program is to find the square root of a given number. There we are using a built-in functions, math dot square root built-in function, and we are finding the square root of a given number. If I give number 4, then the square root of a 4 is 2. If I give 3, square root of 3 is, if I give 3, square root of 3 is how much? How much? 1 point something it will come now. So if you give 8, the square root of 8 is 2 point something. So whatever the number we give, for that number, we have to find out the square root value. So that is the 1A program, and 1B program is calculate the sum and average of given 3 numbers. So take 3 numbers as input, and we need to find the sum and average. You know the logic of sum and average. So that is a simple program, but here the execution of the program is little different, students, in 1A, 1B program. So generally how we execute the programs? Fi is a shortcut key to run the program. Yes, students, Fi is a shortcut key to run the program, and here we have an option. We have an icon, that is triangle icon. Yes, you can see. I have shared my screen. You can see where I am pointing. Where is my mouse pointer now? Triangle. So if you click here, yes, students, if you click here, your program, you can execute your program. Your program will run. Now, this is yes, students, this is 1A program. In 1A program, what we are doing, we need to calculate the square root of a given number. But using command line argument, we need to execute. So the first step, 1A program, write a C# program to demonstrate command line argument. Yes, students, here to pass a command line argument, we have another method. Sorry, students, I forgot to explain this method. Here, you can see the screen now, students. Yes, can you see the screen? Respond. At least tell yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
See here, you can see the project option. No, click on project. Down you have, see down, whatever the file name you save when you create a program. No, when we create this visual C# program, while creating whatever the program name you give, that program name properties it will display SQ_P1A. So square root of a this is a square root program, and it is part A program. part A first program, 1A program. So I have given the file name sq_p1a. So this file properties. So click here, click there. You students, you take down the steps wherever I am going. First, you have to go to project, click on project. Then the last option is file name with properties. File name with properties. Here we have so many options: application, build, build event. So go to debug. Here when you click on debug, you here you have an option. Here I have a text box. You can see the text box now, students. I have a text box here. What is this text box? This is a place where you can give command line arguments. You can give command line argument. So this program is to find out the square root of a given number. So I give 6. Now this should display the output, the square root of 6. What is the square root of 6, students? Ishbarata? 2 point something barata. Ishbarata? How much we'll get? 2 point something, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'll run the program. See, you can either close this, or you can keep it like that and you can run the program. Start debugging. See, students, to run a program in Visual Studio, we have 3 options. The first option is you can press F5 key. F5. That is a shortcut key to run the program. And one more option is here you have an icon. When you triangle icon, you can see the triangle icon. When I put my mouse pointer on that, it will show it will give the description of this icon, that is start debugging, in bracket F5 it is showing. And one more option is go to debug. There you have a second option, start debugging. Click on start debugging. See, you zoom your screen and you see the output, students. The input at command line is 6. There I have given 6, no? And the square root of a given number is 2.449, so on. So 2.44948997, that will be the square root of a given number. I'll run once again, and you can observe the steps. Yes, students, to give the command line argument, we have another method in C#, that is go to project, select the properties option, file name property. There, here, give the command line argument. Now I'll give 9. The square root of 9 should display the output as 3. Correct now? To display the output as 3. Run the program. Zoom your screen and you see the output, students. The input is 9 and the output of this 9 is 3. Yes, students, logic, everything is same, only the way of execution is different. If you want me to explain once again this code, I'll explain this code. Yes, here, students, 2 variables I have taken, argument variable and a square root variable, and assigned to 0. This is the declaration of the variable. See here, if the argument length, because we are passing the argument in the command line, so that's why here, yes, here I have taken if command line argument length is 0. Yes, students, I'll remove this 9. Save the program, close that, save the program. To compile the program, we have an option build. Build solution is to compile the program. Then run your program. There is no command line argument defined. Why? Because nothing I have defined there. Previously I gave 9. Now I have removed. Now, so if the command line argument, if the length is 0, if I don't give any value there, then length it will take 0 and it will display this statement. There is no command line argument defined. And here here the argument value assign passing to double, argument value passing to double, and whatever the argument value I take, argument value I take means whatever the argument value I pass here in the as a command line argument, that value will be taken here. Yes, students, observe where I am pointing my mouse pointer. Argument value. To this argument value, it will calculate the square root value using this math dot square root function. Using this math dot square root function, and the value will be assigned. The resultant value will be assigned to the variable square root value, and that value we are displaying here. That value we are displaying here. When you run the program, now I have not given anything, so that's why here there is no command line argument defined. Now go to project, go to properties, command line argument, give 29. 29 I am giving students. Now run your program. The output of the square root of 29 will be 5.38516480. So this is the execution of one. This is another method. Already logic we know how to execute, how to run the program. What is the logic we know? Just here the execution of the program will be in a different way. The passing of the argument will be different. Yes, students, understood? Any doubt? Any doubt? I should shout now. Nobody is responding. Yes? Respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood or not? Tell me.
Understood, ma'am.
Anybody have any doubt? So next program, students, 1B program also same. The procedure is same. The logic, you know, here just we are taking in this program, in 1B program, take 3 numbers, find the sum and average of those 3 numbers, and you have to display the or sum and average. Students, there I have removed and now you see the execution of this program, 1B program. Again the same procedure. Go to project, under project, click on file name properties, the file name, whatever the file name we give. Now you need to enter three numbers: 6 space 5 space 9. 6 space 5 space 9. How much? Extra 20. No, the sum will be 20. And average will be how much? Average will be 6.666666. So this is the execution of 1B program. This is using a command line argument. This is using command line argument. Why? How it is taking a command line argument values? See student, here we are passing. See, in previous program and all, how we were doing, just a is equal to double dot parse to string. Here with the arguments we are taking. With the arguments we are taking. That is indexer. In morning class we have learned this, no? Indexer. So like arguments, the array arguments, like array or first argument, second argument, third argument we are taking. Yes, students. Yes, don't get confused with indexer. Here we are taking the first value as first argument, second value as second argument, and third value as third argument, and we are calculating the sum of those three arguments: a of argument of 0, argument of 1, argument of 2. We are calculating the sum, and then we are finding the average, and that average we are displaying. Here 6 is a argument of 0, 5 is a argument of 1, and 9 is a argument of 9. Yes, students, understood? Artha aita? Any doubt? Any doubt? Respond.
No, ma'am.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ 1B ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್.
1B ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾ? See here. In previous program, when we are executing from the keyboard, from the user input, so just a is equal to double dot parse. Here we are taking the argument value using a command line argument. Command line argument use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು value pass ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. So that's why argument of 0, argument of 1, argument of 2. If you have more arguments, then in that situation you can take, because here we know only 3 values we have to give. In some situations we don't know how many values we give. In that case you can take the length of an argument. Take length of an argument and you can put it in the loop. But here we are taking just 3 values. We are taking just 3 values, that is argument of 0, argument of 1, and argument of 2. So these argument values are assigned to the variable a, b, and c. The argument 0 is assigned to variable a, argument 1 is b, argument 2 is the variable c. And calculate the sum of abc. Calculate the sum of abc, and here display sum and display average. Yes, students, these 3 lines are optional. It is just to display first number, second number, third number. Directly you can calculate the sum and average. Why I have taken these lines is because the arguments are passed in the command line. Execution time alli ನಾವು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ arguments. Yes, students, during execution time ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಯಾವ values ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. I have passed in the command line argument. Just for the understanding purpose, I am displaying the first number, second number, and the third number. Because I have executed this program, I know as a command line argument what values I have given. Now, whatever I am executing, you are seeing what values I am giving for first number, second number, third number. You are observing, you are seeing in my screen whatever the value I am giving. So you will understand what is the first value, what is the second value, what is the third value. If any unknown person comes, if unknown person suddenly, if they see this output directly without passing the command line arguments here, then for the understanding purpose of any new user, so that's why here I am displaying here first number, second number, and third number, and the sum of three numbers is 20, and the average of three numbers is 6.66666. Yes, understood, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Shashank, now you are clear? Yes, thank you, Shashank. I forgot this method
Yes,
to
ma'am. Yes,
explain.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, students, clear with this 1A, 1B, the
Yes,
execution,
ma'am.
the procedure? Okay. Now, yes, students, next program we have next program is fourth program. We have not executed now. Fourth program, that is write a program in C hash to find the sum of each row of given jagged array of three inner arrays. See, first you understand what is jagged array. Yes, students, jagged array is nothing but array within an array. Array, generally how we give when you execute an array program, what we give? The row value and column value we give. Correct, no, students? Generally, when we execute any array program, we give so how we give row value. If row is 2 and row is 2 and column is 2, means it will be a square matrix, no, students? 2 cross 2 matrix. Then there is no question of giving how many values in each row, how many values in each column, because 2 cross 2 matrix. I have to give. But whereas in the case of jagged array, you can suppose here you can also give the number of elements in first row and the number of elements in second row and the number of elements in third row also you can give in jagged array. So this jagged array is nothing but array within array. This jagged array is nothing but array within array. So here I'll show you the execution of this program. Yes, students. First, I'll run the program, then I'll explain the code. I'm running the program. You please zoom your screen and you can observe whatever the input I'm giving. Enter the number of rows. So in my matrix, I am deciding the number of rows. The number of rows 3. Yes, my matrix is of 3 rows matrix. Enter the number of elements in first row. So I give only one element in first row. Yes, students, the values. Can you do the same thing in your normal array? Yes, students, can you do? Respond. Heli. Can you do the same thing in normal array? No, you cannot. But in jagged array, enter the first row value. Enter one value, that is 2. Next, enter the number of elements in second row. See, students, beginning only it is asking enter the number of rows. I have given the number of rows as 3. So it will take the values of 3 rows. It will take the values of 3 rows. So now enter the number of elements in row 2. In row 2, I give 3. So in second row, I want to take 3 elements. That is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is the elements of my second row. Now enter the number of elements in row 3. 2. 2. 2, 3. Now students, according to my input, I have taken the row value 3. First row, how many values I am giving? 1 value. Second row, 3 values. Third row, 2 values. Now the matrix, my matrix is like this. What are the values I have given? 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. This is my matrix. Do you agree with this, students? Whatever the input I have taken, for that input, my matrix is like this now. Correct? Anybody have? Students, anybody have doubt how I have taken this matrix? Yargaru doubt idya? Anybody have doubt?
No, ma'am.
Here I am taking in the beginning during my execution. Initially only I have taken the number of row value. So first, so how many row matrix I want to take 3 row matrix. I want to take again the first row. How many values? The first row I am taking only 1 value, that is 2. The second row I have taken 3 values, that is 1, 2, 3. The third row I have taken 2 values, 2, 3. Now coming to the output. Yes. Here the sum of first row is 2. Note, yes, students, you can see the PPT also, no? PPT screen also you can see, no? If I do slideshow, then you cannot see the output screen. Yes, first row the eshtaito sum 2, correct? Second row sum eshtaito 6. Why? Because 1 plus 2 plus 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6. And the third row sum is 5. So the sum here in jagged array, we are finding the sum of each rows. We are finding the sum of each rows. Understood? Understood the execution? Now we'll go to the code. Yes. See students, here the jagged array, this is the declaration of jagged array. The number of row and column values are decided during the execution time, and int I, j, var, sum, because we are calculating the sum. So here I have initialized the sum value to 0. Next, enter the number of rows. Once I take the number of row, then this value, whatever the value, the row value I am taking, so that see here, row and column value. You can have yes students, you can see no, row value will be assigned here. Lane row value ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಅದಿಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. So after taking this will be assigned to the variable jag. Next, the loop will start. Here array in I equals to 0. 0 is less than row value ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡೆ ನಾನು 3. I have taken row value 3 no. So 0 is less than 3. Condition is true. It will ask for enter the elements of row 0. Means enter the elements of first row, because 3 rows ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Is it correct? Understanding students? Yes students, understanding? So each row value, whatever the value we take, that will be assigned in the variable var. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದು VAR ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿ the outer loop is row value. In a matrix, how many row elements value you want to take, so that is the outer loop value. First loading, again I am executing 3, I am taking, that is row value. Now after that, enter the elements in row 1. ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ? 2 ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ 2 ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ var. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಈ ಲೂಪ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಶುಡ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್? 2 times no? Correct? Understanding? Yes students, please respond. 2 times the loop should repeat. So until this condition becomes false, this is inner loop value. This inner loop value will be three. Enter the elements. 3. Next, enter the number of elements in first row. I take only one element. Which is that element? Just now I have taken 2, no? So 2 I'll take. Next, see students, you are understanding, no? What is from where we are taking the var value? This var value. And why we are taking this var value? To repeat the loop, to repeat the inner loop. How many values you want for that particular row? For first row, second row, third row. That's why we are taking this var value. Till this condition becomes false, those many times it will take the input. Ivaga first row only I have given only 1. Then var value will be how much? 1. So j is equal to 0. J is less than 1. Condition is true. So it will take the value. Which value? 2. 2 ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Next, j will be incremented. Now j is 1. Var value is how much? Var value is how much? 1, no? So 1 is less than 1, condition is false, so it will come out of the loop, and again it will go back to this. Again it will go back, again it will go back here. Again it will go back here. The value of I will be incremented. The value of I will be incremented. Now I will become 1. Initially I is 0 because array index starts from 0. So 0 will be incremented to 1. So next it will take the, next enter the number of elements in row 2. 3. 1, 2, 3. Enter the elements in row 3. 2, 2, 3. Yes, understood this part, students? Why we are taking var? Respond. Surya? Surya? Apurva?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Both Apurvas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this var is to take the inner loop, and after that, yes, students, if you don't stop the execution, you cannot edit your program. I have not stopped the execution, so I cannot edit the program. Once you stop execution, only then you can edit your program. And here we are calculating the sum of each row. We are calculating the sum of each row. What is the length we have given in the what is the length we have given? So both I and j. Now students, I value is what? I value is the row value, and the j value is var value. Var value, whatever the var value we have taken. So it will find the sum, and the sum will be displayed. Each row sum it will display. Each row sum it will display. Students, you go through, once you go through this code, if you have any doubt, I'll explain once again. But you understood now? You are understood how the program is working. In jagged array, you can decide in each row how many values you can give. Now I'll give 5, number of rows, 5. Now enter the elements in first row, 1. Enter the elements in second row, I'll give 2. The values 1 and 2. Enter the elements in third row, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Enter the number of elements in row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter the number of elements in row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now see students, you observe it is displaying the sum of each row. First row now only one value we have given. So the elements in first row is 1 and the sum is 1. Elements in second row is 1, 2 and the sum is 3. Elements in third row is 1, 2, 3 and the sum is 6. Elements in fourth row is 1, 2, 3, 4 and the sum is 10. Elements in fifth row is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the sum is 15. So this is jagged array program. The students, array index out of bound have completed, and complex numbers also we have finished. Next we have write a program to demonstrate use of virtual and override keyword. So, students, still we have not done in the theory part, still we have not done encapsulation in inheritance, we have not done. So this program I'll not explain now. In the next lab session I'll explain this program. Now next we'll go to delegate, 7th program. Yes students, in the beginning when I was explaining the module 1, that time also I have explained you that this delegate is a component of .NET framework. What is delegate is, this delegate is similar to pointers. What is pointer? Yes students, what is pointers? Pointers ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? You're attending placement, no? Huh? Placement attend ಮಾಡೋ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, or you decided not to respond for any questions, whatever she asks, let her ask whatever she wants. I am not going to respond. Are you people decided for that? For that also no response. Okay, the pointer is used to store the address of a variable, and here delegate is used to store the address of a method. Method is what? Method is nothing but function. Function, no? So this delegates holds the address of function. Delegates holds the address of method. Here in this program, what we need to do is write a program to demonstrate and implement a delegate of any two arithmetic operations. Other two arithmetic operation we have to demonstrate using delegate. So we'll see now. Yes, students, we have a syntax to declare a delegate. We have a syntax to declare a delegate, that is access modifier, delegate keyword, return type, and delegate name. Yes, the syntax to declare a delegate is the syntax. This is the declaration of delegate. What is the declaration of delegate? The syntax to declare a delegate is public or access modifier, delegate keyword, return type, a method should have a return type, no? Return type and the method name or delegate name with the parameter list. This is the syntax. According to syntax, I have declared a delegate that is public. Delegate, it is returning of type integer type, and the delegate name is DELI. So here, all the arithmetic operations I have used: sum of two numbers, difference or subtraction of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, division of two numbers. Here we are doing in delegate, we are doing all the mathematical operations. We are doing the operations. We are doing all the mathematical operations. Yes, students. Here, you know that we know that with object, with the help of object, we pass the values to the method. Correct, no? With the help of object, we pass or we access the values. If you want to access the value, then with the help of this object we use. Here, the object I have created is P1. This P1 is a object of this class. P1 is a object of this class, and D is a object of this. What is this DELI? What is DELI? If you don't respond, then I'll not explain. What is DELI?
Delegate object, ma'am.
DELI is not a delegate object, student. DELI is a delegate name. This is a delegate name. This D is a delegate object. And here, using this delegate object, we are passing the values to these variables, to this variable int a, b, int ab for sum, difference, multiplication and division. For these methods, with the help of this delegate object, we are passing the values. And here, yes students, this 10 and 20 where we are passing 10 and 20 for this method, for some method, and 40 and 20 where we are passing to this here. Yes students, I repeat here once again. First, we are creating an object for a class. The main class is PG_M9 is the main class, and for this class I have created an object, that is P1, and we have a delegate object. With the help of this delegate object, we are passing the values to each method. So P1 dot sum. So sum is what? In some method we are calculating the sum of given two numbers. Correct? We are calculating sum of given two numbers. To that method, what values we are passing? 10 and 20. And the sum will be displayed. The sum will be the sum will be assigned to the variable I. And that sum will be displayed here. Next, P2 is another object for the next method. What is the next method, students? What is the next method? Difference, multiplication, division. Like that, for each delegate, I have created a different delegate objects. See, this is for multiplication and this is for division. Just create an object for, here we are creating an object for different object for all the methods, and we are displaying the output. Yes students, understood? Yes, it is very simple. Delegates hold the address of a method. Here in this delegate I have taken four functions, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. For each function, a different objects we have created, and we are passing the values. We are passing the values for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we are displaying the output. This is for division, this is for multiplication, for difference is nothing but subtraction and sum. Here d of 10, 20 is passed to the method sum, and the sum will be assigned to the variable I, and the I will be displayed. Here j is equal to f of 40, 20. Then these values are assigned to the difference method, and the result will be stored in assigned to the variable j, and here we are displaying j. The same for multiplication. The multiplication will be stored in the variable k, and k will be displayed. And division also same. The division will be stored in the variable L, and we display L. Any doubts? Any doubts, students? Understood all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, students, I'll stop here, and the remaining programs we'll see in the next lab. Tomorrow afternoon, you are free, no, students? Tomorrow afternoon, after my class, you people are free. If you have any doubt in the lab programs, in half an hour we can do. We'll do. I'll repeat the programs once again. If you have any doubt today, you go home. Today after my class, you once you go through the programs, whatever the programs I've explained. If you have any doubt, then we can discuss in tomorrow's class. Attendance, all of you message me in the chat box, no? Already few students have messaged. The remaining students also, you message me in the chat box.